Well, hello there. Welcome back to the Pokehistorian. I'm your host, Matt X. This is the show where I turn on the camera, we talk about life, we talk about Pokemon cards, we talk about the intersection of these two things, and whatever else I feel like squawking about, right? So, for today's video, we're just going to talk about the idea of getting discouraged with Pokemon cards and missing out because you're thinking things are too hard and it's not even worth trying, okay? So, here's the deal. A lot of people now, especially those people that were, paying attention to Pokemon cards a few years ago, they look back on like the 2017, 2018 era, even like 2022, 2023, and they have a lot of nostalgia and they miss this era a lot because during that time it was much easier to get cards. You could go to any Target and Walmart and pick them up. You could get great bargain bin deals over on Thanksgiving. Cards were fairly affordable online, and it was just like a different world where there was lower barrier to entry. And if you truly believed in Pokemon cards and their long-term potential, you could definitely stockpile a good bit. And now we see how things are where, well, we don't need to go into that too much, do we? We know how things are now. But when you compare that to the old days, it's easy to kind of sit back and be like, I missed the boat. Like there's nothing I can do. Like it's just too hard. I don't even want to try. I'm just out of luck. The game is over. It's easy to do that and get discouraged. But the problem with that is if you think things are hard right now, probably in another 5 years, another 10 years, of course, there'll be ups and downs along the way, but things will probably be even more challenging than they are today. And with that in mind, somebody in that time will be looking back on where you are right now and saying, God, those guys had it easy. They could get a booster box for $230. We're looking at, I hope this doesn't happen, but say we're looking at $500 or something for a box when it comes out all the time. I mean, who knows? But the point is, where you're at now currently, the past always looks rosier and it always looks better. And to some level, the past was better. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Things were easier in that. And in general, with a lot of things, the past was easier. I mean, I think even back to, for example, this, right? Like I'm in my 30s. Do I look back in the 20s and I think, yeah, life was probably easier in a lot of ways, a lot less stressful. I still feel pretty good in my 30s, but felt better in my 20s. And then I'm sure when I'm in my 40s, I'll be thinking, man, I sure missed those 30s because I felt pretty darn good back then. Then 50s, I'll be looking back at 40s. And, as you get older, in a lot of ways, things do just get tougher. Your body kind of starts breaking down. You're more susceptible to illness. You don't move around as well. And it's just part of the natural progression of things. It's like, sometimes it's like the longer we are here, it's like the tougher certain things can get. And there's no way to get around that. And just like with life in general right now, like, for example, we have the advent of AI coming in the future here, right? I mean, it's already here, but it's about to get even more involved. And I just went to a conference basically kind of explaining to me and everyone there about how things were going to be changing and how it was going to take a lot of our jobs and stuff like that. And, even though the job market's really hard right now, it got me thinking like, man, things are tough now, but how are things going to be for people in another 10 years when you have your computers basically doing everything for you, including all of your personal thinking that we usually as humans do now? You kind of wonder like, well, what are we even going to be doing? And then I can just see that possibly being kind of a tough time. I don't know, unless we can figure something out. But yeah, the point is that is like things are always going to keep changing, and a lot of times it's not going to be for the best. But it doesn't mean you should sit on the sidelines and quit and not partake. Like that's kind of the positive message I'm trying to get at here. You can't quit. Like a lot of things are very tough out there for people, but you have to keep going and you have to play the game. And you're kind of the character in your story. You got to see how all this ends, right? You got to get out there and live your life and do the best you can and just see what happens, Most likely you'll live a long life and you'll see some pretty cool things throughout it. Maybe you'll see some bad things. Some people won't make it quite that far, which is unfortunate. But you've got your story to live, and it's not worth it just sitting on the sidelines. And just that goes back to Pokemon. Like, don't miss out on where today is. I know it's tough out there and things are expensive, but if you've got some money to get involved and you really believe in this investing in Pokemon stuff, just do it. Like I said, it's all about following your passions and seeing where they lead. And if your passion is Pokemon, you got to follow that path even if it's tougher than it used to be. Because just as things go on in life, they're always going to get tougher than where they were before. I mean, I think of, back to grandparents talking about how, like, a carton of milk used to cost like 25 cents. Like, yeah, it's not that way anymore. Now it's like more like $9 or something. But it's just the way life goes. We as humans have to adapt and we have to keep moving. And if we don't, then that's when you really lose out, and that's when you can truly kind of not make the most of this gift we're given, which is life. So anyways, I'm not going to preach at you anymore. I know this video is kind of silly, I guess, in a way, but it was just something I was kind of thinking about today with everything. It's a rapidly changing world, and it's easy to get nostalgic for the past and miss the way things used to be. But regardless of missing how things used to be, we're here today, and this is the world we're in. And we got to try and change things when we can, the things that we can change, but then we also just have to make the most of what we got and keep on going. So anyways, that's all I got for you all today. Invest in Pokemon if you believe in it. Like and subscribe to this channel. Let me know down in the comments how crazy I am. Hit the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you in my next video.